we're all ready.
Yeah, right here.
All right. Good for you?
Right.
Come ahead!
Quiet on the set!
Flip that calendar page and turn up the AC. This is Michael Falkner, and it's showtime at the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. This weekend's box office results for Monday, July 4th start at number 10 with the movie that refuses to drop off the charts, Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris. Coming in at number 9 are the ladies of Bridesmaids, down from last week's number 8, but taking their place is last week's number 5, Mr. Popper's Penguins. At number 7 is a precipitous drop from last week's third place slot with Green Lantern. Down 2 from number 4 to number 6 is Super 8. In 5th place is the new release Monte Carlo, taking in an estimated $7.6 million. Number 4 on our list is Tom Hanks in Larry Crown, with an estimated $13 million. At 3rd is last week's 2nd place, Bad Teacher, with an additional $14 million to bring the raunchy comedy to $59.5 million. In 2nd place is last week's leader, Cars 2, driving home another $25 million to earn the Pixar sequel a total of $116 million, just over half its budget. In 1st place are the raucous robots of Transformers Dark of the Moon, with an estimated weekend box office of $97 million and an estimated total since last Wednesday of $162 million. This places Transformers in the position as top-grossing weekend box office of 2011, despite the uphill battle following the negative reactions to the previous outing in the franchise. Speculation is that this will be the first $300 million film of the year. Will that hold true? We'll find out with the upcoming films like Harry Potter and Captain America. Go to work or go to the zoo? Luckily, you have both options this week at the box office, starting with Horrible Bosses, a comedy starring Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudeikis.
You woman?
It's 8:15 a.m.
It's 18-year-old Scott.
If you want a promotion, you gotta earn it.
Did I tell you that Harkin tricked me into having a drink at 8 o'clock this morning?
Unless your boss isn't sexually harassing you.
See if this thing is working. Oh! I can make out our little friend right there.
Stop it.
Ooh, Shabbat Shalom. Somebody's circumcised.
You know, yours doesn't sound that bad.
We need to trim some of the fat.
What do you mean by trim the fat?
I want you to fire the fat people. You can start with Large Marge. Marge, can you come in here, please?
What? I thought he was going to give you a promotion.
Yeah, no, he is.
I have decided who I want to be our new vice president of sales. Me.
What do you say?
Nick, please, we're in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just attribute this to your drinking problem.
You would have to admit our lives would be easier if our bosses weren't alive.
You can fire Professor Xavier.
You mean Hank?
Creeps me out, rolling around all day in a special little secret chair.
I don't care how bad our bosses are. We're not murderers.
This little sweetheart right here
My fiance.
is going to get a peek at my little photo album.
You did all this while I was unconscious?
That's my favorite.
I'm in! Let's kill this bitch! We gotta hire a professional.
Does anyone here kill people for money?
I'm gonna be your murder consultant.
Word.
You wanna pull off a brilliant murder? It's gotta look like it's an accident. You gotta be smart.
It's gotta be worth, what, $15,000? I feel like everything's gonna work out. Look how fast I'm picking out this scrap, you know? I'm moving like super fast. I can't even feel my nose.
Find them vulnerable.
Peanuts? That was a peanut butter sandwich. Are you not good with peanuts?
Whoa, whoa.
Look at this. What about Little Jabs? Little Jabs?
My boss, who we're planning to kill, is dying in front of you and you saved his life?
Well, that sounds bad when you say it like that.
I was surveilling your boss. She's incredibly hot.
Don't talk about how hot she is.
She makes herself a little snack, a popsicle, a banana, and finally, a hot dog. And eating them in that weird order, that's not a proper meal. It's cold to hot.
I can crush you anytime I want.
You want to explain why you were doing 61 in a 25 zone?
I was drag racing.
In a Prius.
I don't win a lot.
Three friends conspire to murder their awful bosses when they realize they're standing in the way of their happiness. Horrible Bosses is rated R. Next up is Zookeeper, a family comedy starring Kevin James, Rosario Dawson, and Leslie Bibb.
Hey, what's that?
It says, will you marry...
Will you marry me?
No.
Really?
I know it shouldn't bother me that you're a zookeeper, but it kind of does.
Really?
5 years later, the world's most devoted zookeeper.
Come on, Donald. Let's move you out of the sun.
Is getting a second chance.
I hope my being here doesn't make you uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable. So comfortable.
Oh my God!
No, it's fine. It's fine. I got it. Oh, God, it's barbed. Okay, so hey, how you doing?
Now,
Offer still on the table for you to come work with me at the dealership. That is how you get a girl like Stephanie.
I gotta get out of the zoo.
the animals of the Franklin Park Zoo will have to do the unthinkable.
Griffin, we need to talk.
Oh, crud.
How long have you been able to talk?
Let's see, today's Tuesday, so, always.
You're the best zookeeper we ever had. We don't want you to leave. You listen to us. We'll show you how to get the girl.
You think I should just maybe ask her out?
All right, now, slow it down, hotshot.
You need to unlock your inner bear.
Whoa,
no.
Roar!
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey! Never let a rival dictate the outcome of a situation. How weak. Oh, sweet nanny, that is painful. Oh!
Oh, hey! You okay?
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Anything.
Is TGI Fridays as incredible as it looks?
It's pretty good.
Oh, not cool.
Kevin James.
The best way to attract a female is to be seen with another female.
Come on, soar like an eagle.
Zookeeper.
Let's do it.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her.
Shut up.
A group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love, without opting to leave his current job for something more illustrious. Zookeeper is rated PG. Starting out the limited release slate is Beats, Rhymes and Life, The Travels of a Tribe Called Quest, a documentary starring Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Having forged a 20-year run as one of the most innovative and influential hip-hop bands of all time, the Queens, New York collective known as A Tribe Called Quest have kept a generation hungry for more of their groundbreaking music since their much-publicized breakup in 1998. Michael Rappaport documents the inner workings and behind-the-scenes drama that follows the band to this day. This movie is rated R. Fading of the Cries is a fantasy horror starring Brad Dourif, Mackenzie Rosman, and Thomas Ian Nicholas. Jacob, a young man armed with a deadly sword, saves Sarah, a teenage girl, from Matthias, a malevolent evil that has begun plaguing a small farmland town while in search of an ancient necklace. Jacob sets out to get Sarah home safely while being pursued by hordes of demonic creatures, and along the way, both come to terms with the demons within themselves. Fading of the Cries is rated R. The Ledge, starring Patrick Wilson, Charlie Hunman, and Liv Tyler, is a drama thriller from Belarus, in which a battle of philosophies between a fundamentalist Christian and an atheist escalate into a lethal battle of wills. The Ledge is rated R. Project Nim, a documentary starring Bob Angelini, Bern Cohen, and Regan Leonard, tells the story of a chimpanzee taken from its mother at birth and raised like a human child by a family in a brownstone in the Upper West Side in the 1970s. Project Nim is rated PG-13. And finally, we have Sholem Aleichem, Laughing in the Darkness, a documentary starring Hillel Halkin, Jason Kravitz, and Dan Miron. A riveting portrait of the great writer whose stories became the basis of the Broadway musical Fiddler on the Roof. This film is not rated. This week's DVD slate kicks off with 13 Assassins, an action-adventure drama from Japan in which a group of assassins come together for a suicide mission to kill an evil lord. 13 Assassins is rated R. Next up is Hobo with a Shotgun, an action-crime thriller starring Rutger Hauer, Pasha Ibrahimi, and Rob Wells. A homeless vigilante blows away crooked cops, pedophile Santas, and other scumbags with his trusty pump-action shotgun. Hobo with a Shotgun is not rated. Next we have Das Boot, Director's Cut, coming to Blu-ray. This 1981 historical drama by Wolfgang Petersen chronicles the claustrophobic world of the World War II German U-boat, including the boredom, the filth, and the sheer terror. Das Boot is rated R. On the TV on DVD front, we start off with According to Jim, Season 4, starring Jim Belushi and Courtney Thorne-Smith. In this traditional blue-collar family comedy, Jim Belushi plays the quintessential guy and family man, proud of his Midwestern values. Next up is Boy Meets World Season 6, starring Ben Savage and Ryder Strong. Boy Meets World is back for Corey in the gang's freshman year of college. Relive the funniest and most endearing moments as your favorite characters enter a new phase in their lives. Corey and Topanga learn to exist as an engaged couple. Sean decides to continue his education, and Eric and Jack find the perfect new roommate. Just when they think they're growing up, life only gets more complicated. Next is The Cape, the complete series, starring David Lyons, Keith David, and Summer Cloud. He's righteous, he's heroic, he's the Cape. Vince Faraday is an honest cop on a corrupt police force, but when he's framed for murder and presumed dead, he finds that he must go into hiding, leaving behind his wife Dana and son Trip. Determined to battle the criminals who now control his hometown, Vince takes the law into his own hands and becomes the Cape, his son's favorite comic book superhero. Next we have Eureka, Season 4.0, starring Colin Ferguson and Sally Richardson Whitfield. Everything you thought you knew about the small town of Eureka is about to change. Sheriff Carter and the resident geniuses are accustomed to the strange occurrences that make their town unlike any other. But when 5 of them are shunted back in time to Eureka's Founders Day, their return trip delivers them to a present-day Eureka that's anything but familiar. With new jobs, new residents, and new romances in store, it's definitely not business as usual in this small town where the big secrets just got even bigger. As always, let's close this out with the Quick Flicks. Following the Netflix model of all-you-can-watch entertainment, a service called MoviePass is trying to allow subscribers to watch an unlimited number of theatrical releases for only $50 a month. The description seems fairly simple. Users will be able to find Showtime listings and purchase tickets via their smartphones, and then use those smartphone screens as the entry pass. Subscribers get as many movies as they can watch, with additional $3 surcharges for the 3D and IMAX films. Fringe benefits include early looks at new trailers, invites to promotional screenings, and the ability to pre-order home video releases right after showing. MoviePass was set to launch its beta version in the California Bay Area, with plans to expand across the United States in the fall. The goal was access to 40% of all U.S. theaters. Immediately following the news of MoviePass's premiere, however, national chain AMC stated they would not support the effort. From Stephen Colanero, Chief Marketing Officer, plans for this program were developed without AMC's knowledge or input. As MoviePass is currently designed, it does not integrate well with our programs and can create significant guest experience issues. As MoviePass was created without AMC's input and testing, we cannot confidently say that the guest experience will be positive for our guests, and specifically our AMC Stubs members. Shortly after the AMC announcement, all the 21 theaters on the beta list issued similar statements revealing that they will not accept the MoviePass subscriptions. While Netflix had similar problems from the theaters on launch, it seems that MoviePass may be dead in the water for now. After The God of Thunder rumbled through theaters, commanding $437 million in worldwide sales, Walt Disney Pictures announced they will release Thor 2 in the summer of 2013. The tentative date is July 26th, following the third Iron Man film on May 3rd. Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman are contracted to return, but director Kenneth Branagh will be leaving the director's chair. While TV producers and showrunners are usually not the most recognizable people in the industry, one of the most influential television pioneers is becoming the subject of a biographical film. Stanley Wisey, the co-writer of Wall Street, has been hired to pen the script for a Rod Serling-based movie. Serling is best known for The Twilight Zone, but was also highly influential in developing the television medium and turning audiences onto social issues like racism and unions. No release date is set for the biography, but it's good to know that a legend will be getting his dues. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicriff.com and leave a note in the forums. You can leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicriff.com. You can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook. The Weekly Podioplex is a collaboration of Creative Criticality and Lucky Shot Productions. This is Michael Falkner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap!